Hi, Cancer. I don't even know if I said that before the time started. Hi, Cancer. I hope you guys are doing well. So, we are actually at the park today. I've been wanting to do readings here. I live in Ohio, and I'm at the Hopewell Indian Mounds. I've been wanting to do readings here. This is really outside my comfort zone. I don't generally read tarot out in public. I don't really want anybody coming up and saying anything to me I don't want to offend anybody, right? So, um, yeah, it's facing a fear for me that felt really strongly for me to do this. And here I am. I'm planning on going through all the zodiac signs. I'm doing like a couple a day. I'm sorry if you can hear some loud trucks. Like I said, I am in Ohio and there are always diesel trucks everywhere. It is farm country and everybody's got big trucks. So we are going to look at what is your focus at this time, Cancer, what's benefiting you, what is challenging you, and what is the most likely outcome. I don't believe in coincidence, and there was something that happened before I did Gemini's reading today, and I mentioned that, so I'm going to mention to you, and I had made a joke with Spirit, and Spirit was like, that's for Cancer. So I kept getting bit as I was pulling your cards and meditating on your energy by some bugs. Like I kept getting pestered and bit, and Spirit was like, when you taste sweet, of course, you're going to get swarmed by creatures that want a taste of you. So there's something about, and it's interesting, it came through in your cards, like the better you're doing, the better you look, the better your life is going, the better of a person you are. For some reason, you tend to attract bloodsuckers and, people who just want a bite of your sweetness, who want to take a bite. And you got to swat them away. You got to, you got to kick them out. You got to be like, no. You have to say no to people. You can't just, not that you would sit there and let, a mosquito or whatever it is just come and feed off you. If you saw it, you would smack it, right? If it's a human being and they're trying to, let's just get into your focus. We've got deceit here and flow. If there's somebody who is manipulative around you, who is deceptive around you, you're not just going to put up with that and just let them hang around, right? There's something about, I feel like you are seeing something or someone in your life, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. And it could be, within yourself. For some of you, if you're that self-aware and you recognize that, because we all deceive ourselves in some way at some moments in time. So it could be outside or inside the house. There is this energy of, something being manipulated. And with flow being there, that makes me think of the moon. You are ruled by the moon. And I was thinking of like tides and the ebb and flow of water. I don't know if you're dealing with another water sign or if this person can really tug on your emotions. That was coming through. Like sometimes this person can get really close and really tug on your emotions, and they can be emotionally manipulative. Or, this could be a thought pattern that still can tug at your emotions when you think about it, or something like that. Can also be somebody outside of you who maybe, is a gossip or says nasty things about you behind your back, and you're finding out about it and it is in your focus now. This could be, like friend, colleague, ex-lover. It could be anybody. But if this is for you, then you would know who this person is, or you will. There's a lack of honesty here. There's someone who is not upfront, is not forthcoming. They don't reveal all the details. They don't share everything with you. Or they're not, like, I just heard white lies or lying by omission. Somebody like that who maybe doesn't even see what they are doing as necessarily nasty or wrong in the way that you would feel like it would be. And flow is natural movement. So it could be, this person could be, what's that called? Like a pathological liar, or this person could be just naturally manipulative. I don't know why now it's coming through as this could be like a karmic connection with someone. But it's somebody who's just, they're not being 100, right? 550 when I just looked up. So 550. Fives are about change. Fives can bring a little bit of chaos. But what's benefiting you here is indecision and fire. So these are like it's funny because like fire and water, and I heard fire water, so there could be something about alcohol. I don't know. Doesn't necessarily have to be fire water, but that could stand out for somebody. But it's funny, now they're giving me like my grandma used to keep these in her house. They were like these cinnamon jawbreakers that were covered in sugar, and they were deceptive because you'd put it in your mouth and it would be really sweet and cinnamony and it would taste super good, and then as soon as that sugar dissolved, it was burning hot on your tongue. And I would always take it to the sink, and I would run it under the water until the cinnamon layer was gone, and then I would put it back in my mouth and eat the rest of it because I love cinnamon. But it was just, they were so hot once that cinnamon was gone. This person could have like a very sweet outside, like they give off super sweet, super sugary, and then you get underneath that first layer, and this person is much spicier than that, much more they bring the pain, they bring the heat. Could be dealing with a fire sign as well. They could have both fire and water in their chart. I feel like it's benefiting you to pause, like this indecision, which choice to make, what do I do? And fire consumes. Fire is passion. It can be like, this could be a romantic connection, this could be somebody that you've had a lot of passion for, but also fire consumes in the way that it can hurt. It can bring the end to something, like a phoenix rising. Like phoenix, they are burnt up in the fire and then they rise from the ashes, kind of like it's like a rebirth kind of energy. I feel like you're trying to flow around something that is very manipulative, Cancer, or a person who is manipulative. I feel like you're trying to maneuver your way around the situation and just kind of like, how do I word that, Spirit? Like the littlest amount of drama as possible. 8:58 when I just looked up. It just feels like I don't want drama. I just want my life to flow. I don't want to have to deal with BS like this or people like this. I'd rather avoid it if I can. I want to flow around it. Like it's almost like, if you had a river and you had this huge rock in the middle of the river, like water is just going to flow around it, right? Like that is an obstacle. Water is just going to flow around it. It's like you just want to flow around this person. And I feel like you're not doing anything necessarily about this person. Like you're not confronting this or this situation, whatever it is. It's like you're not being confrontational. You're not being, or you haven't been. But I feel like the fire is building. The fire is rising. and there's this choice that you need to make, or you feel is coming up, and because you know you're gonna have to do something, but it's like, what do I do, right? That indecision. And I feel like sitting at this crossroads is helping you to possibly let this fire burn down a little bit, right? If you're feeling that kind of anger that can be explosive, like you don't want to be reactive, right? You want to respond, you don't want to react. So sitting at this crossroads here can kind of let that fire simmer down a little bit, right? And to help you to think more clearly on what decisions that you are going to make. But fire can also push us forward. So I don't feel like this anger is just going to go away. It feels like, because I'm getting like fidgety in my seat. Like it's like I'm gonna have to do something about this. It's almost like a fire under your ass. 1111. When I just looked up, it's like a fire under your tush that is like, I am gonna have to do something now. That's that feeling, like you were trying to flow around it. You were trying to just, there's this obstacle here. I just want to flow around it. And you're realizing, no, I'm gonna have to make a choice. I'm gonna have to do something about this. And now there's this fire that's being lit underneath your tush, and it's benefiting you because you're realizing, I have to make some kind of choice. So I feel like it's benefiting you, like pausing before you make a decision so you can meditate on it, so that you can look at things from a higher perspective, so that you can make the best decision for yourself, so you can do what will have the best outcome for you. And you can look at things from all different angles, right? And it's funny, it came through in Aries and Taurus's readings. Higher perspectives make better decisions. And I was kind of getting that from your reading as well. But the challenge here, you have journey and you have the medicine wheel. So it's really interesting. I don't know if this is, if you're wanting to have movement, if you're wanting to relocate or travel or just get something moving, that could be it as well. If like this person or this thing is blocking the flow, and that's that movement, like that's your challenge here, is getting something moving, getting something flowing. But some of you, it will literally be like relocation or travel or something like that. But with the medicine wheel, it's like, it feels like closing out a cycle is your challenge here, Cancer. And this cycle, it's not exactly closing it out. It's like moving the wheel, turning the wheel. I was getting more like the wheel of fortune. Sometimes we're at the top of the wheel, things are good. Sometimes we're kind of stuck at the bottom. And I feel like you've somehow gotten stuck at the bottom and there's no momentum, and you're trying to get it to, get yourself back up to the top again. And it's kind of like, like the flow, maybe like a flow of a cycle. And if you were to see like a wheel going around and around, if there was momentum, that wheel would just keep going. Now at some point, when that stops, when movement stops, like what is this, science class? If that wheel stops, like an object in motion will stay in motion. And an object at rest, like it's harder to get an object at rest to get going. So it's like you're trying to get something going again, but there is this healing, like the medicine wheel, So there's like events from the past or people that are toxic was coming through, people that drain your energy, or an event from the past that is still sticking around and it is stopping your momentum. It's almost like if you had a wheel, and I'm thinking more like a wheelbarrow wheel, like a wooden wheel, and you had a rock in front of that wheel. Like, you're not really, it would take a lot of effort to get that wheel to roll. And that's the way it was coming through. And to get yourself through this, there has to be movement in a new direction. Like, you can't just stick at one thing and just keep trying to get the wheel to move forward. You need to turn the wheel away from this rock. Like, if I were to take the wheel and there's a rock right here in front of it, I can't push it forward. But if I turn the wheel this way, I can roll this way, and that rock is not going to block me from moving forward, right? Like, it would take a lot less effort to get moving. That's the way Spirit was showing it to me. I know, it's strange. And it's interesting because we're out here in nature, and this place, did I say it was the Hopewell Indian Mounds? It's like 2,000 years old. And I've had a lot of interesting things coming through here, like messages, which 2,000 years ago, did they have the wheel 2,000 years ago? I don't think so. I don't know. But I've had very, like, old-timey kind of messages come through, like analogies. So it's really interesting. Sorry, I don't know what kind of bug that was. It wasn't, I thought it was a bee for a second, but it wasn't, because it was flapping its wings and like bopping along. Where was I? Yeah, so this new direction, Spirit is saying, like, what is your passion? Like, your benefit here is fire. Fire is passion, right? And then you're stuck at this indecision. You are being guided to focus on your passion. What direction do you want to go in, Cancer? Because for some reason, you're not going to be able to get things to flow in this direction that you think you want to go in. There's some kind of deception. Sorry, Cancer, I had to pause the video. This huge wind came through and my cards went flying. Luckily, they didn't go too far. I caught them. But, so yeah, like, your focus here is you're noticing something that is not flowing in your life, where there's some kind of deception or manipulation going on, and you're wanting to flow around this. So you are realizing, you're stopping so that you can kind of take inventory and look around, and say, like, where is my passion? What direction do I want to go in if I can't move in this direction? If I can't go in this direction anymore, if there's a roadblock, what direction am I going to go in? So you're going to want to move in the direction of passion, right? Of desire. You want to move towards your desires. But there's this indecision, like, what is my desire? Like, what do I want to move towards? And I feel like because you've been put in this pause moment, this, full stop, you put the brakes on from Spirit, it's like this opportunity to figure that out. And as you are doing this, with the medicine wheel being here, it's like you're able to look at things in your life that aren't working and realize what you want to let go of, as well as you turn and move in a new direction. So there's, letting go of events from the past, letting go of people that are toxic or manipulative, moving away from that and creating a life that you do desire, meeting people, being with people who are beneficial to you, that you do desire to be around and hang out with, and you enjoy their company. Working a job, that feeds your desires and passions that you enjoy doing. It could be a relationship, letting go of something there that's maybe not working. So your outcome here is strategy and the rattle. So you are going to be making a plan. You are going to be strategizing. I'm realizing there's feathers on both of these cards, which is really interesting because the rattle is actually talks about picking up the tools of spirit. And I feel like there could be a lot of signs and synchronicities for you during this time frame, in regards to making this plan, making a strategy, and moving in this new direction. There's a pentacle here on this, a pentagram with the 4 directions on either side as well. And a compass. Yeah, a compass. I was like, what's the word for compass? Compass. There is something about movement, like north, south, east, and west. Some of you could be moving. There could be like relocation or travel of some sort. But this is new perspectives and new ways of doing things, and taking a different route is the way that keeps coming through. Taking action on desire and stepping into partnership with spirit. I feel like there are going to be so many signs and synchronicities coming through for you. I feel like things are going to be lining up and helping you as you move along. But I feel like this is like the beginning. Like I said, you're closing out a cycle, and this is the beginning. Your outcome is like the beginning process of starting a new cycle. So it's not necessarily an outcome. It's more like something to look forward to. It's like what you're moving into, right? Which is really, really lovely. I like this for you. And it's funny, the rattle in the book for this, it's the Mystical Shaman deck, talks about the top of the rattle being like the earth on its axis, and there's just something about direction for you. There could be something about if you're a North Node Cancer, or watching your North Node, like watching readings for your North Node, something like that. And our North Node is where we are insatiable in this lifetime. So, and we are talking about your passion and your desire. So you could definitely check that out as what's coming through here for you. That is what I have for you, Cancer. I'm sending you lots of love and wishing you all the best. Until next time, bye.